You raised the right point. Yeah. Should the president, the singular president, should he have to share the presidency with 300 district court judges? No, absolutely not.
But the point, though, you made a really good point that there have been judges that shut down some of President Biden's executive actions, and they understand, the Biden administration understood the checks and balances.
The Supreme Court tried to stop me, but they never will.
But not in the way that Donald Trump is.
Who said that? Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Donald Trump.
That's Republican Scott Jennings shutting down a CNN panel's pathetic attempts to once again gaslight its viewers about Joe Biden and his terrible administration. Welcome to Nerk News. I'm Nerkish, and it looks like Democrats are up to their old tricks again of using politically motivated judges to obstruct President Trump and the will of the American people. And as you might have guessed, the hacks and establishment media are already frothing at the mouth to vocalize support for this and help legitimize this liberally biased judicial pushback.
Well, I think there's a difference between saying whether you're complying with the law and then you have these individual district court judges setting effectively broad federal policy that is specifically reserved for the president of the United States. I think we do have a constitutional crisis, and it's being caused by these judges. They're not here to tell us. They're not here to tell us how to spend the money. They're not here to set broad federal policy. That is the president's job as elected by the people. These judges are supposed to be settling discrete, specific matters, not policy setting. I think Vance is right. I think Trump has a point, and these judges want nothing more to continue the lawfare against
I don't
Trump.
think anybody's in the executive branch saying, no, I don't feel like it, and the courts say you have to.
Well, my answer to that simply is, it is the executive branch's job to figure out how to spend money once it is appropriated by Congress. And sometimes they spend money that's not been appropriated. But the correct political control is between the executive and the Congress, not some random federal judge.
When there are not repercussions, you get away with it.
I get it. You want individual federal judges who hate Donald Trump.
No, I don't.
To tie him up for 4 years.
No, I don't.
If you want a big policy questions decided, let the Supreme Court do it. But in the interim, the executive has to be allowed to govern.
Am I wrong about that?
Well, you're supposed to comply, but Scott's absolutely right in that the court cannot say you have to spend these dollars today. So as a governor, I dealt with this. We got things challenged in state court and federal court. It's all judge shopped, by the way. Judges don't randomly get these cases. There's a reason that these cases are filed in Boston, the Boston court, or a certain district, Rhode Island, because they know they're going to get.
You know, this whole constitutional crisis thing from the left is just their newest emotional manipulation tool they've been using for the past few days to bypass critical thinking and appeal directly to Americans' sense of fear and anger. It's 100% clear that Scott is once again absolutely right that liberal activist judges are overstepping big time, and that this is just another round of subjective lawfare selectively aimed at President Trump.
He actually didn't ignore it.
He did. Right. They continue to plow forward with student aid. How much did they spend?
Let me set the record up.
He actually got dinged
I hated the student loan forgiveness policy.
What did he say out loud?
I thought it was a ridiculous policy. I thought it was unconstitutional. I predicted it would get struck down. It did get struck down, and I applauded. He did not ignore it, though. He went and tried under a different law.
So he ignored it.
You're allowed. No, that's not ignoring it. That's not ignoring it. He's trying to do it. But let me just understand where you stand. If a district court judge rules in a way that the president dislikes, should the president listen or should the president defy?
If a district court judge tries to usurp the authority of the chief executive of this country, he should absolutely defy it. There's a difference between broad policy decisions and discrete disputes between parties. That's the difference. If I want a policy decided, I'll take it to the Supreme Court.
But what about checks and balances?
So you're saying that a judge should decide how and when money is spent
a judge is saying,
for years, and not the president of the United States?
Let me explain
You're a governor,
a little bit more. Let me explain it a little bit more slowly. A judge is saying,
you don't have to talk to me like that.
Congress.
I have a position on this, and you have an opinion. We can disagree.
Yeah, but I'm saying you listen to me because you're not listening, and you're making claims that are not connected to the facts. The judge is saying,
maybe you are.
Congress appropriated a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
We need to litigate this.
Okay.
While we litigate this, we're going to put a hold on the actions that you took that might be unconstitutional.
So while we litigate this, I'm a judge and I'm in charge of the executive branch, and you're not. Forget it.
Yeah,
I totally disagree.
You can't compel the executive branch to spend the dollars. You can't do that. They can't say we're going to start. The judges are going to start writing the checks. They have every right to
have you heard the?
No matter who the president is, the duly elected chief executive of this country, they should not be sharing the broad plenary powers of the presidency with 300 individual district court judges. That is not what the people want.
That is a great position to take when you are in power.
Yeah,
when
I will believe it no matter what.
Exactly.
District court
When you are
judges
not
are
in
different than the
power,
Supreme Court.
You know, science frankly needs to study Scott Jennings for his ability to endure this level of vitriol on a daily basis. I mean, he's legitimately the only thing keeping CNN afloat and ensuring that hacks like Abby Phillip get a paycheck. Yet they repeatedly have the gall to talk down to him as if he's not consistently outnumbered during these panels. The only satisfaction you could take is that I bet dollars to donuts that in about 5 years, he's going to be one of the only people at that network who still has a career, because no one has or ever will share anything insightful coming from the mouths of the rest of these political hacks. But let me know what you think. How should President Trump push back against these politically motivated judges? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. This stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!